Happy New Year again! The year of the snake has just arrived according to the Lunar New Year calendar. I personally have to cook 5 meals just this week. It made me wonder, what did people eat to celebrate Chinese New Year in America in the past? I thought it would be a fun exercise to go through a century of Chinese New Year dinner in today's episode. Hi, my name is Christy and this is the American Chinese Food Show. Before we start, let's get to some basics of the Chinese New Year meal. China is huge and Lunar New Year traditions vary vastly depending on where you're from. But no matter where you are, the meals are lavish because starting the year with abundance means the rest of the year will be too. What dishes do we eat? A feast isn't complete without chicken. Across China, there's a saying, without chicken, you don't have a banquet. And we want both meat and fish, following a saying that comes from a Ming Dynasty poem, a lot of fish and a lot of meat, 大鱼大肉, representing plenty of riches. And you know us Cantonese are crazy over puns with meanings. The word of fish also sounds like surplus. The first few Chinese New Year dinners in America I could find in newspapers were not from restaurants, but personal dinner parties. In 1885, the Chinese Sunday School hosted their teachers at the YMCA Hall in St. Louis, Missouri. There was a great abundance of oyster soup, meats, cakes, fruit, and all kinds of good things. In 1902, Yi Ya-yik and Wu Ying hosted a Chinese New Year dinner for their American friends at the Hop Sing Long store in El Paso. I can't make out most of the dishes. The names were probably transliterated by the reporter into English from Thai Chinese. Yan Wo Gong, that I know. Bird's nest. Chop suey. Tong up, maybe stewed duck. Fong kai op, chicken and duck. Folk ai, 5 luck something. On kai yong ho, hong kwa. This one I know. Candied melon. Kwa tu lychee, lychee kwan, long fu cha, some sort of tea. Bing ho, maybe rock sugar. Leave a comment if you know what any of these are. The same year over in Washington, D.C., the Chinese Merchants Association hosted a 27-course meal for esteemed guests that included yellowfish brain pudding, bok du kwa chu, I also don't know what that is, chickens fed exclusively on pineapple, ducks fed on fruit, shark's fins, bird's nest, and chop suey galore. The first quote-unquote Chinese New Year dinner from a restaurant is this one in Tucson in 1903. A 35-cent dinner has oyster soup, Chinese entrees a la tong lue, roast turkey with cranberry sauce, and roast young pig with applesauce, ice cream, and Chinese nuts. So it's basically an American meal. In 1920, the New Peking claimed to host Boston's first Chinese New Year's dinner. Bird's nest soup, chicken chop suey with mushrooms and English walnuts, lobster omelette, preserved bolo, pineapple, ice cream and cake, tea or coffee, rice or bread and butter for $1.50. This ad is telling because they spent 1/3 of the ad space to talk about how clean the restaurant was. We insist on the utmost cleanliness and sanitary conditions in our kitchens and serving rooms. The Board of Health rates us 100% in this respect. Advertising Chinese New Year dinners hardly seems worth it, since convincing average Americans to dine at Chinese restaurants was already a challenge, not to mention explaining the lunar calendar and traditions. In the 30s, Oriental Cafe in Omaha was a bit before its time. They were serving special Mandarin, Nanking, Peking, and Shanghai dishes, and patrons got free imported Chinese chopsticks. Chin's in Cleveland was just serving the regular Chinese and American menu. Supgum chow mein, roast loin pork with dressing, applesauce, fries, and mashed potato, Boston cream or cherry pie, and chop suey sundae. It wasn't until after the war there were dedicated special Chinese New Year dishes showing up. Teacup Restaurant in Santa Cruz in 1952 offered bird's nest soup, roast duck with imported lychee, Canton fried squab, Dai Fa Choi roast pig, prawns a la dragon, paper wrapped spiced chicken, and egg roll with shrimps a la Pearl River for $2.50. New Chinatown restaurant in Albuquerque served Lu Hong Ji. That's Buddha's delight. Probably one of the earliest times it shows up in this country. Something we covered in a previous episode. Cantonese people eat vegetarian on the first day of the new year to honor the gods and avoid taking lives. But nowadays, just a part of Buddha's delight as part of the non-vegetarian meal is deemed enough. And then we have Long Zhao in San Antonio, Texas in 1960. They served a lettuce with supgum paste, shark fin soup, fried wonton appetizer, pineapple chicken, sweet and sour pork, fish balls with Chinese vegetables, cookies, and orange slices for $2.99. This meal is actually oddly similar to the Chinese New Year recipes published in the home section of Overseas Chinese Daily in Hong Kong in 1959. Pineapple chicken and fish balls. And we finally get to see some pictures of the food from Canton Restaurant in Springfield, Massachusetts in 1954. I think I see chicken. What else do you see? A whole roast pig at the Genki Kan restaurant in 1961 in Washington, D.C., along with full wind melon soup, shrimp Mauna Loa, chun ga phoc, I don't know what that is, octopus, magnolia, chicken, lobster a la Hong Kong, beef haystack, 8 jewel duck, cream hearts of green, good luck fruit flambe. This meal was the most refined we have so far, since dinner guests included the Thai ambassador, Hawaiian senator, and first American-born Chinese to serve in Congress. And then we have the Chinese New Year dinner that looks most similar to what people make at home today, maybe without the bird's nest soup. I myself this year made 3 of the 5 dishes here. Soy sauce chicken, Chinese sausage fried rice, Chinese dumplings, 8 jewel rice, and Gai Lun half moon cookies. On top of the banquet, Cantonese also eat crispy fried snacks like smiley dates, fried dough twists that turn in the hot oil as they puff up, symbolizing money rolling, and fried dumplings that look like a purse full of money. I wonder if the Chinese dumplings are actually fried dumplings. Yao Gao. By the 1970s, Chinese restaurant owners figured out the New Year meal was more of a photo op than to provide traditional celebratory dishes. Lillian Chang from the China Inn in Palm Springs hosted groups of Caucasian patrons with chicken wings and fluffy rice. Madame Wu hosted a Chinese barbecue pig buffet in her Santa Monica restaurant. Whew, okay, we almost went through a whole century. For the next decade, I want to do something slightly different and compare a few Chinese New Year's menus across the country from just the same year, 1980, a golden age for Chinese food in America. Because it's interesting how you can almost tell what kind of person the owner or the chef were from just the menu. Over in Cleveland, there's a whole page ad that showcases many Chinese restaurants in the area. But other than New Peking doing a quote-unquote exotic Chinese New Year banquet dinner, the rest were just inviting patrons to eat Chinese food. You can package your usual menu into a special banquet, like at the Peking Chinese restaurant in Memphis. Hot and sour soup, sizzling rice, mandarin beef, Kyoto pork, which has nothing to do with Kyoto. Maybe I'll talk about it in a future episode. Sichuan chicken and Fuyang shrimp. Or you can be like the owner of China Palace in Knoxville, coming up with some one-time specialty items. For $12.75, the banquet includes Alaska king crab seafood soup, New Year golden chicken breast, entree were lemon pork, chu loi golf jumbo shrimp, Chinese New Year steak, chicken breast with English walnuts, Alaska king crab clam with fresh asparagus, baby mushrooms and Chinese cabbage with cream, sesame chicken, 3 treasures fried rice, and fruit cup for dessert. I would love to have this meal today. The most expensive dinner that year was probably from Gao Xin from New Jersey, $35 per couple. About $140 today. 8 treasure winter melon soup appetizer platter with spring rolls, stuffed shrimps, steamed pastry, barbecue ribs, dim sum before dim sum's name got standardized. Beef sticks, chicken wings, West Lake duck, garden chicken, jade tree chicken, stick cow, rainbow lobsters, stars around the moon. I don't know what that is. Shrimp and chicken, crispy hosi bars, young chow fried rice, sweet rice cake, and fortune cookies. If that's too expensive for you, you can also have an old school menu like this one from Chico, California, at an unbeatable price of $5.95. Chow mein, sweet and sour pork, fried jumbo prawns, sweet pea chow yolk, mushroom egg fouillon, pork fried rice, tea, and fortune cookies. It's completely fine to just eat a regular meal for New Year's, but I love when restaurant owners make small gestures to make it slightly more special. Like Sammy Chu from Lum Chin Restaurant in Staten Island, who served sweets at the beginning of the feast. They are made of marinating winter melon, kumquats, pineapple, and coconut. Besides the banquet, Cantonese people have the tradition of serving something called a full box, chun hap. This box is filled with sweets and snacks, each carrying its own meaning. The 8 sweets include items like candied winter melon, symbolizing family unity, and candied lotus seeds representing fertility. A play on words with continuous son, meaning you're gonna give birth to a son, and then a son, and then another son. By the 2000s, Chinese New Year dinners practically disappeared in restaurants, except for when it's served as an event, like in the Salisbury University in Maryland, with a menu that couldn't compare with what people could get back in the 60s. Wonton soup, Sichuan fish, pork ribs, noodles. I guess that's still way better than the vegan Chinese New Year dinner by a Hell's Kitchen contestant chef in Detroit with plant-based spring roll and turnip cake. Today in 2025, even folks back home aren't cooking these meals themselves anymore. I'm ending this episode with a commercial for Deliveroo, an online food ordering delivery platform in Asia. I hope this episode has made you hungry and ready to fill up on some good food in the new year. If you like our content, subscribe to the channel. See you soon!